Hey, spiritual gumbo. The other ordinances. True justice. Now we pick off in the 22nd chapter of the Exodus. We pick off in verse 1. And where we just left off was reading how if an owner does something wrong to a servant, pretty much, or if there is a discrepancy amongst livestock or a fight, we'll say, that causes other issues, how these things are to be handled. These are also other ordinances. And as we go back into them, something like if a man takes a woman, right, how he's to treat her. Something like if a man is to take his Hebrew servant on, how that Hebrew servant is to treat his servitude. What things are punishable by death because you speak such ill things upon your mother and your father, or because you've laid hands upon your mother and your father. Having said that, blessed be the Most High God for giving us the mind to understand. Blessed be the Most High God for giving me a tongue to speak to you. And blessed be the Most High God for giving you ears to listen. Verse 1 of chapter 22, the Exodus. And if one steal an ox or a sheep, and kill it, or sell it, he shall pay 5 calves for a calf, and 4 sheep for a sheep. So 5 to 1, 4 to 1. Verse 2, and if the thief be found in the breach made by himself, so a hole or an opening, and be smitten and die, there shall not be blood shed for him. So there shall be no avenger of blood. But, verse 3, if the sun be risen upon him, so if there's light upon him, he is guilty. He shall die instead. Stop right there. So, he is the person who's killed the thief. And they're saying that if you kill a man who's made a breach in your home and you don't see him, you're not responsible for his death. But if the light be upon him, the sun, the light though, right? Because that's where the light comes from. That's the idea. Is that they're like, yo, you're wrong. Because you could see him, you could identify that man. Continuing in the same verse 3. And if a thief have nothing, let him be sold in compensation for what he has stolen. Stop right there. So they're saying that if a thief is found, and let's say this is, follow me, this is the level of the thievery, okay? If a thief is a regular thief, he steals stuff all the time. So he has to return to you what is yours plus whatever's extra. Like, hey, man, I came up on this dude. He had my sheep and 20 other sheep. I need 4 more of those. So they're like, yo, you don't just let this guy walk away feeling like he can just do what he's done. You know what I mean? Even though you might not tell on him to everybody, you might. Life is different. Understand how we all play it out is different. So we have to be able to appreciate these values in the way that they're being set forth. Having said that, it also tells us that if a man is to be killed while he makes a breach in another man's home, who's at fault in which matter? The manner in which a man cannot be identified, he's at fault. The manner in which the man can be identified, the man who killed it is at fault. And therefore there shall be an avenger of blood. Going forth. And it also says that if he doesn't have, so if he's a first-time thief, and he killed it and ate it and gave it to his family or whatever, you sell him, okay, for the same value or whatever that you would have sold or got for you know your livestock. Having said that, we go forth into the fifth verse. No, fourth verse. And if the thing stolen be left and be alive in his hand, whether ox or sheep, he shall restore them twofold. And if anyone should feed down a field or vineyard, and should send in his beast to feed down another field, he shall make compensation. He shall make compensation of his own field according to his produce. So they're saying that, look, if you let your beast eat up somebody else's stuff because you don't want your beast eating up your stuff, you're going to have to compensate that, bruh, based on what you have going forward. And should he send his beast to feed into, and should he send his beast to feed down another field, he shall make compensation of his own field according to his produce. And if he should have fed down the whole field, he shall pay compensation of the best of his own field and the best of his vineyard. So they're saying that his best grapes are coming to you, and then his best garlic, his best onions, his best carrots, his best cabbage, his best tomatoes, okay? His best peanuts, all right? Can you dig that? All that's you. Yeah. Going forward. Verse 6. And if fire have gone forth and caught thorns, and should have also set fire threshing floors of ears of corn or a field, he that kindleth the fire shall make compensation. Verse 7. And if anyone give to his neighbor money or goods to keep, and they be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, he shall pay double. But if the thief not be found, the master of the house shall come forward before God, and shall swear surely that he has not wrought wickedly in regard of any part of his neighbor's deposit, according to every injury alleged, both concerning a calf and an ass, and the sheep and the garment, and every alleged loss, whatsoever in fact it may be. The judgment of both shall proceed before God. Stop right there. Do you hear this? This is litigation. This is law. This is ordinance. Okay? Anyway. And as you hear it, do you hear what's going on right now? It's saying that if a person has set a fire, right, they have to repay the whole everything. Yeah, bro. No, we're not having that. You know what I mean? There'll be no arson in here. You feel me? And then it also says that if you give something to your neighbor and then all of a sudden, listen. This is so if you gave them something valuable, they didn't have it set up to be stolen, right? Because now they have to come before God. This is why what I said about Jotham, what I said, because Jotham was wicked. Because if they have to come before God, they have to bring that kind of thing to Moses. And if you have people who are regulating over these sorts of things in their own mind and what they believe is righteous or not, you're going to have a whole lot of confusion. Moving forward. Verse 8. No, verse 9. No, excuse me. Verse 10. And if anyone give to his neighbor to keep a calf or sheep or any beast, and it be wounded or die, or be taken, and no one know, an oath of God shall be between both, each swearing that he shall surely not at all been guilty in the matter of his neighbor's deposit. So they're saying that you didn't listen. It's just like a person sending something rare to somebody, right, and it being stolen. The person of the home having it stolen. You yourself could have it stolen to accuse the person or to say, oh, my stuff has been stolen. There's been a matter of theft. You see what I'm saying? This keeps it to where you have to be honest with the Most High. Right. You can't just tell lies. It's bigger than that. Most High God is true. Going forward. We're not going to finish this whole thing right now. Don't worry. There'll be 2 parts to this. You guys know how it is. Where we at? Verse 11. An oath of God shall be between both, each swearing that he shall surely not at all been guilty in the matter of his neighbor's deposit. And so his master shall hold him guiltless, and he shall not make compensation. So if this happens, nobody owes anybody but the animal or whatever the beast is. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make compensation to the owner. And if it be seized of beast, he shall bring witness to pray, and he shall not make compensation. So he's saying like, yo, if you brought me a sheep and it got ate up by bears or something, I'm gonna bring you the leftovers of the bear or whatever. And this is that. It got ate by the bears. But this is why you had to watch who you gave your stuff to. Yeah, this is why being circumspect to who you deal with. This is why the Most High God was like, kill everybody. Having said that, spiritual gumbo out.